Righty. We're on Ifalafa this time, where it's pretty distinguished rock structure in the middle. And let's see who's playing. So on the top left side of the map, we've got Old Nosey, and he's playing for Erebor. And we'll see what rain he goes with. Although I suspect this is going to be Ironfoot, because that's usually what he does, I've noticed. And on the bottom right side, we've got Isirion, and he's playing for Gondor. And I don't really envy Isirion in this matchup. I feel like this is one of those matchups that Erebor actually feels quite comfortable all throughout the game. So let's see what Isirion goes with. I've been told that there are some off meta plays here, so will be interesting to catch that. So Nosey opens with Erebor Assembly. You don't see that every day. Usually it's just ordinary barracks, the name of which I have forgotten. But let's see. So we've got Isirion with 3 farms into a barracks. Pretty standard stuff. He's putting down the 4th farm. Let's see what Nosey is going for over here, because I don't feel like Gondor has many options here. Although, like, okay, having said that, there is certainly some variety. For example, if you're playing defensively, you can start with an archery range as well as the stables to shoot down the pikes and trample the rest, because you can't really fight with basic Arabor infantry with your clansmen or lean here. They will just get absolutely demolished. So that is one option. Or you might do the standard Gondor thing, which is infantry spam supported by cavalry. That's also an option. But a good, Erebor player, I feel like will have all the tools needed to defend against that, especially with tunnel collapse, as well as I'm assuming Nosey has gone for, well, he hasn't really, gotten anything yet, but usually, like, the meta these days for Arabor is the rebuild ability. So a combination of those should keep your, at least the initial, mine shafts, rather safe. But we see that he's going for Barding Swordsman play. Not something you would see very often against Gondor, especially because the basic Erebor infantry, the actual dwarven infantry, and not the mannish one, is just so effective against Gondor that this is already off meta. So let's see how the game progresses from here. So Nosey, after putting down his first 3 mine shafts, has put the following 2 on the sides of the map, and he's after 5 mine shafts is going for an Arabor workshop, which is an interesting choice. And he does something different here in terms of the PowerPoint spellbook choice, rather, as well. Going for a Ravens of Erebor, which is debuff of 10 speed as well as 25 speed, sorry. The debuff is, and it also boosts your troop speed by 10%. So he did not put down the mineshaft in this side of the map. In fact, he was kind of chased away by these Alamadon over here. He did creep over here, so he probably has sufficient resources for the battle wagon. That is in fact the case, and he's trying to attack from this side. And we can see that Isirion was probably expecting, Dwarven play, and that is why he went for an archery range. But we see that is not the case. Clearly, Nosey is going for the mannish play. And yeah, so these guys cost 400. They're quite good. Like, they have really good stats, but obviously they cannot deal with 2 battalions, especially under Fortress Fire. So Isirion immediately upgrades to level 2. That is very interesting, and I feel like that is a valid choice, because usually you would use Blackroot Veil Archers against spammy factions, and specifically spammy units. And if you see that your opponent is going for, like, I suppose you could call these swordsmen tier 2 swordsmen, because they've got, like, quite decent stats, but then the Minas Tirith archers are a decent choice against that. Now, whether that is a decent overall strategy, like instead of going for stables or going for heroes to go for Minas Tirith archers, that is a different question, and that's hard to say. I would say that it's a little questionable. And Nosey does lose the battle wagon over here. He careless with it over this side. So we'll see how the match progresses, but yeah, as you can see, they deal quite decent damage to these Dale Barding Swordsmen, specifically. Okay, so in terms of command points, Nosey got 450, 200 on the field, and Isirion has got 500 max and 400 on the field. So I feel like the beginning of the game is more successful for Nosey. Especially that Battle Wagon loss is going to cost Nosey a lot. He needs to rebuild it, and yeah, but at least the fact that Isirion saw a Battle Wagon is going to force him to make pikes, to have all of his groups on the maps, on the map, accompanied by pikes. Because you never know when the next Battle Wagon is going to hit the field, or when Nosey will go with Arca to have the, Barding Rider summon, Outrider, Barding Outrider. I don't really remember the official names of the units in the mod, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so we've got a little grouping over here, as well as Barding Swordsman trying to protect this matchup. Though this is an interesting engagement. Obviously, these swordsmen are a lot more powerful, but these guys are buffed by the horn, and so they managed to take out the Barding Swordsman. Well, kind of. At least trade evenly with them, kind of, sort of. But Nosey has pushed for level 2 assembly, which means he has access to Barding Longbowmen, as well as Eredluin Rangers. That's interesting. Eredluin Rangers are obviously a direct counter to archer units, and this battalion of Minas Tirith archers has level 2 already, which grants them 25 damage and speed, at the cost of 50% armor, which for an archer unit is like a no-brainer. You definitely want them to be in formation at all times, except when they're taking damage from whatever source it may be. But yeah, so few people know, because, okay, first things first, I feel like the Gondor meta, and generally, I mean, all faction metas have changed quite significantly since 8.0 and subsequent versions have come out, but especially the Gondor meta has changed because Gondor used to be just dominated by Ithilien Ranger as well as Swan Knight play in the previous patches, and it would get really annoying to play against that, like every single game. And as you can see, Nosey has used the teleport ability to put these guys on the archers, and yeah, they're specifically designed to counter archers, and that is exactly what they do. And now they can run away because they're quite fast. In fact, they're even faster than the Gondor infantry. So yeah, that's quite handy. And that's exactly how you want to use them as well. Teleport in the archers, archer back row, kill them, and run away, because these guys don't really fight well against any other unit except the archers. So yeah, Nosey has repurchased his battle wagon, so Isirion needs to be careful with this composition. Does have a pike battalion over here, so that's good. Does have Boromir on the field, has had him for a few minutes already, and he's pushing for Minas Tirith gameplay. Good decision, I would say, against Erebor. And needs to reposition his pikes. That's kind of exactly what he's doing. I don't know who the host is here, by the way. Maybe they're playing it on a neutral host. I'm not sure, and I don't want to check either. I feel like that's gonna spoil some things in the game, specifically the end result. But yeah, let's see in terms of command points what we have on the map. They're quite even. Erebor has 725, 300 active on the field. 675 to 65 active on the field for Gondor. But in terms of power points, Gondor is like 3 or 4 behind. And Nosey is just like completely off meta in this game. Like the last time I've seen this, like I'm not sure the last time I've seen this ability used, fully armed and filthy. So it grants heavy armor to dwarven units, I'm assuming, or like any unit that can be upgraded with dwarven plates. You can use this to grant them. And a little trick to use this would be having 5 battalions of whatever units you want to use this on. Enter a mineshaft. Have them exit the mineshaft. Press S which stops them, right as they're exiting the mine shaft, and they will be kind of stacked in a clump, and you can use this to grant it to all 5 battalions. And Nosey has pushed for Brand, King Brand gameplay, and Brand obviously has leadership for all these Dalish units. It also has Black Arrow of Dale, which is 25 armor debuff to an enemy unit, as well as a speed debuff on heroes once Brand reaches level 8. Alrighty, so Nosey's quite successfully defending his mine. Might lose this one, not sure. He's probably gonna lose, yeah. But his power points are rising. His command points are quite decent. But he has forgone Builder Kill over here. Tragic. He has forgone Deep Delving. And Deep Delving has been dominant in this patch, just because of, or rather thanks to how much value it provides, how much money it gives dwarves, and it's one of those spellbook abilities that you cannot really cancel or counter in any way, except by taking out the opponent's entire economy. Because even if you take down, a couple of mines, Deep Delving is going to be active on all the other mines. So yeah, as you can see, Erdluin damage on structures isn't that good. But Isirion has pushed for Minas Tirith Knight, or an Orient Knight, however you want to call them, gameplay, and that's really, really good. I like seeing that. And he's carefully, gradually making that transition to a full Minas Tirith army. And just to preview, that's not good. He needs to take these guys away immediately, because they're gonna be shot by the longbowmen as well as Brand, and yeah, he saves both battalions, luckily for him. So he can either get the fortress fountain, or he has already built an ordinary fountain over here. So yeah, just to finish one of my previous thoughts, Gondor gameplay was so dominant, was so dominated by Athelian gameplay so much, that it would get really tiring to go against that. But we could see that Nosey has gone for Arca, so he has already used Wisdom of Yore and has access to Barding Outriders. So yeah, I did not butcher their name when mentioning them previously. And these guys, I think they have the plate upgrade? I'm not sure. Oh yeah, Dwarven plate. Could see the visual kind of like they're wielding kind of I forgot the term for it. Shields is the term I was looking for. So yeah, so this Gondor Knight gameplay is giving the Isirion lots and lots of breathing room over here, because this army looks a little better than this one. You've got like the longbowmen, Barding longbowmen, which are like tier 2/tier 3 archers, like somewhere in the middle. But on the other hand, for Isirion, we've got Boromir level 4, which means he has access to his Horn of Gondor ability, which is a 15-second stun. And stunning these guys would be quite devastating if Isirion manages to do that. So yeah, Isirion is definitely pushing for Minas Tirith gameplay over here. So a little fact that not many people know, I would say that Minas Tirith archers, in their formation, supported by Boromir's leadership, actually have higher DPS than the Athelian Rangers. So it's a bit like, when I consider when to use Minas Tirith supported by Boromir as opposed to Athelian Rangers supported by Faramir, it entirely depends on the matchup and the troop composition that the opponent is putting up on the field. Boromir used his knife throw ability over here. It deals splash damage, so that's a good usage. Does use okay, so Nosey has access to his tier 4. Uses the oil barrels over here. Let's see how many power points Gondor has. So he's gone for 2 tier 1s as well as tier 2. So it's a little bit behind. But the Northern Knights coming in, I don't think Nosey has a lot of pikes here. This is gonna be devastating. Let's look at the command power points over here. 7, 8. It's gonna be 9 fairly soon. Yeah. The Minas Tirith knights completely changed the course of this battle, and Old Nosey has gone for Day. Isirion uses Boromir's for Gondor ability, and from all of these visual effects, my laptop is kind of dying. But yeah, we could say that Nosey loses his entire army over here except for Brand. He's got literally 0 command points on the field except this one hero, but the hero I'm pretty sure can be saved by putting him in the mineshaft fairly soon, and the mineshaft can stun these units right now. So yeah, that's not going to be an issue. In fact, he's going to be able to farm some experience for King Dain, and he has gone for King Dain. That might change the course of the battle right here. I feel like Isirion is in the lead right now. If we look at command points, Nosey has almost 1,000, and he's 20 points away from his tier 4. Gondor has 800, so not that much behind, especially if you consider market. I would say that his economy is in fact better than the Erebor economy. And is he pushing for Gandalf? He's got 4.5k. He can definitely go with Gandalf in this situation, I would say. Let's see. We're gonna take a look at this. Keep an eye on this. Oh yeah, he does indeed go for Gandalf. He doesn't have the fortress banners though, so that's why it took him 5,000 instead of 4,500 to purchase Gandalf. But yeah, so Dain is level 2. Obviously, he has a very powerful leadership, 75% armor, as well as Fear and Terror resist for all allied units, as well as a passive ability for Brand, and that is exactly the composition that Nosey is going for in this match. It's the mannish, Dalish, however you want to call it, units, supported by Brand, which are subsequently supported by Dain, and Brand and Dain have a passive kind of buff for each other as well, as 2 kings of the northeastern realms of the Middle Earth during the War of the Ring. Yeah, this banner carrier is running for his life, trying to get to the fountain to replenish. But yeah, this has been quite interesting so far, especially the Erebor strategy. Pretty off meta, you know. You wouldn't see this every day, especially in like high stakes games, tournament matches. You definitely wouldn't see this. It would generally be more, you know, Dwarven unit focused gameplay, probably, I would say. But yeah, he's also got level 3 assembly at this point, and he's pushing for Iron Hills Warriors, which under Dain's leadership, of course, are absolute tanks. So definitely a good decision right there. But Gandalf is in the field, and I don't think Nosey has much to deal with them. Of course, he has access to highly leveled Brand, and Brand Black Arrow Dale can somehow manage Gandalf, especially when Gandalf is like not that leveled. But yeah, another trample. So this is one of the major issues with this strategy, is that it's like you need to spam so many pikes that it kind of makes your army not that effective. And if you don't spam the pikes, the opponent, if he notices, will just go for a good kite. Like that was a great bait by Nosey. He was just like running away, luring Isirion into the mineshaft. Used his tunnel collapse. Immediately evacuated his units. But Gandalf uses, oh man, this Mark of Thrush ability is just like can't really see anything due to it. He does have Red Axe, does have the Barding Outrider summon, but Isirion opts to go for the Rohirrim summon. This is gonna be devastating. Nosey needs to put his heroes in the mineshaft, otherwise he's gonna probably lose everything. Although now that I say that, I'm not sure. He has like Iron Hills infantry over here. The archers get trampled by the Rohirrim summon, and Let's see. Gandalf is level 4. He has used his Rekindled Hearts ability. By the way, Gandalf has a fear and terror resist, I believe. Oh yeah, immunity to fear and terror. So the mind collapse wasn't gonna work anyway. But he did evac his troops, so that was a good move regardless. But we see that Gandalf is level 4 right now, has his anti-debuff ability. I'm not sure that Dwarven, I'm not sure Erebor even has access to any debuffs, but I might be entirely wrong on that one. So do correct me if I am. So Nosey uses this battalion of Iron Hills infantry to kind of put a little bit of harass on Isirion's economy. Isirion's starting farms haven't been touched all game long, and his economy is supported by the market, and his pushing to get this level 3 assembled, that's going to be big. That is going to be big if he does get it. Let's see. Another battalion of Barding longbowmen get trampled by the Rohirrim Summon. Rohirrim Summon is going to go out fairly soon, and his 13 power points away from the Eagle Summon. Nosey's building defensive expansions on his fort. And he's kind of slowly losing that, economy lead that he used to have. And he opts to go for another tier 3, which is the Undermine ability, which kind of knocks back the enemy units, also makes them lose 25% armor for 30 seconds. And I believe he did that to save this level 3 farm, as well as just to push back on this attack. Was not successful on saving the farm, but was indeed successful in repelling this attack. And now he's got Dain, as well as Gloin, as well as the Iron Hills infantry, all of that supported by the birds, or rather ravens, as well as the actual hero raven, Arca or Rock. Can't remember which one it is with the Ironfoot summon, not summon, with the Ironfoot rain. So these Minas Tirith knights get stunned over here, and he might have the ability, the opportunity to kill this one battalion, level 4 battalion, in fact, so that's going to give him a lot of power points. Ooh, but Isirion uses Ithilien wood to save these guys. That's, I would say, not sure about that one. I would think that the Ithilien wood would come in handy in the next big fight. Yeah, that's a little questionable, I would say. Even though he was successful in saving these guys, I don't really think it was worth it. But now he also has Denethor, and I believe Denethor debuffs Gandalf when he's nearby. That is indeed correct. Gandalf loses 15% armor, which is the central part, as well as 15% experience gain, which is not that important, generally speaking. So for the next big fight, Nosey has Durin's Day, but that's not gonna stun this Gondor army, because it has fear and terror immunity thanks to Gandalf. And you see this purple glow on Faramir? That's because Denethor hates him, just like he hates Gandalf. Yeah, I would ideally you want to use Denethor and Boromir with one clump of units, and the rest of your Gondor heroes with the other clump, so that they wouldn't get debuffed by Denethor. Denethor himself is obviously very powerful, even though I remember the dark days when you used to be able to level him up, just like you would level up Arvan or Berithiel these days, which is just by paying money, manually upgrading him, essentially. But even despite losing that frankly busted feature, is still very good. And now Isirion has access to fire upgrades for Minas Tirith archers, so we're gonna see just how effective that is. So see, this is what I'm saying. Like, he's gonna lose these Minas Tirith knights anyway, and I'm not really sure it was a good choice to waste the Ithilien wood on saving like 2 battalions of them. But now these guys, does he have access to upgrades, I wonder? Because that's going to come in really handy against late game Erebor. He does have the Forge, has upgraded banners. He also has access to not Dwarven, Steel Cuirasses. So basically the heavy armor upgrade. So yeah. While I was saying that, I could just, instead of looking at the Forge, look at his army and see that his Minas Tirith infantry is upgraded not only with heavy armor but also with force plate. So this is gonna be really, really difficult to deal with for Nosey. And Nosey chooses to go for another tier 2. I think he has made peace with the fact that he's gonna forgo his tier 4 options and instead focus on staying afloat in this game, because I would say that this is looking quite scary for Nosey right now because Gondor has his hero squad out. Gondor has level 5 Gandalf, already has access to Flame of Honor, and yeah, so he does use Vow of Vengeance over here, kind of repels the attack because obviously Isirion does the right thing and does not want to take a fight in this area or push over here because he can push back and might be forced to take a fight within the radius of Vow of Vengeance, which is something that he definitely does not want to do because he's in the lead. He doesn't need to take risks. He can just kind of like slowly but surely take down Nosey's economy and secure the win in this match that way. He needs to reposition the linear pikes over here because this battle wagon might wreck the level 5 Minas Tirith archers, although I don't believe he would one-shot them because they were not in formation, consequently not losing armor. But Nosey has Wormslayers on the field. He has fort upgrades. But look at this. This is like late game, scary Gondor. They've got anti-debuff, they've got Fear and Terror immunity, they've got Boromir leadership, Denethor leadership, I believe, as well. Although Denethor, only grants experience to 15 troops in the beginning, but once he reaches higher levels, he also grants armor and damage. But yeah, so the Dwarven units, he has Khazad Uzbadul, 2 battalions, in fact, I believe, and they're buffed by Dain, not only by leadership, but also by the Red Axe ability, I think. Or no, not really. I think this is just their own self-buff, essentially. And their information, and look at this. Yeah, they're tanking a lot. These boys are tanky as hell. But yeah, Isirion has his tier 4 ability right now, and that's the Messengers of Manwë. And Nosey, if he has the power points, might want. Oh, he has had rebuild for a long time. I haven't noticed, but it was on cooldown, so that's a big loss. I like the fact that Nosey isn't going for the fortress because obviously Messengers of Manwë have received a nerf against fortress. Their damage has received a nerf against fortresses, so it's definitely better to go for level 3 mines or valuable other production structures, such as the level 3 Erebor redoubt, from which Nosey has access to these incredibly powerful semi-heroic units, Khazad Uzbadul, which cost 1,000 and provide just tremendous value for their cost. I was having a recent conversation about this, by the way, and but yeah, let's leave that. Let's leave it at that. So let's see what's happening on the map, generally speaking. So Gondor has access to all of its upgrades, has its late game army, and I really like the fact that he has gone for Minas Tirith gameplay instead of Athelian gameplay. Because yeah, as you can see, it has proven to be effective. Although Nosey was doing something really off meta in this game. And you look at this and you're like, that doesn't really look like a powerful army, right? But these are the elite Arabor units: Iron Hills crossbowmen, Wormslayers, Iron Hills infantry, Khazad Uzbadul, and they're supported by 2 heroes. We've got Glowing level 9. So Glowing has access to his teleport. So we'll see how Nosey manages to realize it. And King Dain is level 7, and besides Red Axe, he's also got Mighty Veteran, which heals allies. Oh, I didn't know that actually. Fully refreshes their special ability timers, right? And grants immunity for 15 seconds to an allied hero. Interesting. What is his ultimate ability? 75 armor and splash. All right. Okay. That's not bad. That's pretty good. I mean, obviously Dain is very useful just for his 75 armor as well as the Red Axe ability. But his subsequent abilities aren't that bad either. So yeah, so we've got an Athelian Ranger stack over here. The Minas Tirith cavalry is kind of like suiciding itself just to knock back these units to give time for the Gondor infantry to catch up to them. What on earth is happening? Oh, that was the teleport, and I was like, huh? What is that range? So if you teleport a unit, it takes like a few seconds for the game to actually like change its location, change the location of the unit like programmatically. So that is why the archers were shooting like literally over half of the map and still dealing damage to them. Okay, so Nosey's gonna have access to his tier 4 fairly soon, in fact. And he's probably gonna go for... I'm not sure. He might go for Thor's Horde or the Earthquake. The Earthquake, I don't think would kill this army because this army is supported by a whole lot of leaderships, and a lot of these troops are leveled up. I see like a lot of stars over here, so like, yeah, he's got a lot of level 5 battalions, is not losing them. So I don't think Earthquake is gonna be particularly effective here. So Dain does use his Red Axe ability, but it's just not enough. Like this late game Gondor composition is like really powerful. So yeah, he used the Gloin's teleport ability to save the heroes from that bad engagement, but he does lose King Dain over here. The Athelian Ranger stack is debuffing their armor, but specifically towards Pierce, meaning towards Archfire. So that used to be different. They used to debuff just general armor, but that was changed to specifically Pierce armor, which is a lot more balanced. Yeah, so this stack of infantry supported by the heroes can actually take down the fort. The fort, I believe, does not have heavy armor, so it's not looking good for Nosey at this point. He's gonna have access to his tier 4 and 2 tier 3s, as well as Vow of Vengeance pretty soon. But if we look at command points and such, Isirion is on 900, and a lot of his farms are leveled up thanks to the market buff. And after 10 power points, he's going to have access to... actually not. So this is the left-hand side. Tier 3, which means he still needs to go for Western Winds. Farmier might die here if he's not attentive. Okay, so Nosey uses Durin's Day, but the troops are obviously not going to be stunned because they're supported by Gandalf over here. But let's see, he might be successful in dealing with Athelian stack, but let's see what Gandalf does here. Doesn't really kill them, but gets them so low health that they're gonna be easily finished off by the Athelian Ranger stack right now. And yeah, this is not looking good for Nosey at this point. And Gandalf has Flame of Honor. I don't think Isirion used it as frequently as he should have, by the way. He does remember to use Chief of the Star. I wouldn't put this on autocast, by the way. You really want to like manually control how you use it and against what units you use it. But yeah, Denethor has access to his pikeman summon. And he indeed goes for Thor's Horde. And let's see if he does a Battle Wagon drive-by to use it. But he's very short on unit supply. Not that short on cash. Especially if he uses Thor's Horde, he's going to get 10k fairly soon. But yeah, at this point, it's looking pretty hopeless for Nosey. And where does he use Thor's Horde? I wonder. Huh. Where's the dragon? I'll need to look at the map to determine where the dragon is. Sorry, I'm blind. Oh, okay. So he used the dragon in defensive manner, which makes sense. You know, is in a dire situation, and if he really doesn't have anything to deal with this army, but yeah, this is the problem with this, because obviously the dragon that gets summoned is hostile to all units, not only enemy units. So this is backfired so badly for Nosey. Ooh, oh, that wasn't the fortress, that was just the expansion. Yeah, but I completely understand why he made this move here. He was kind of like didn't really have a choice there. But Isirion is pulling back. Um, Smart of him as well. Really doesn't need to risk anything at this point. He can just finish the game fairly soon. Because Erebor economy is just completely out. Right now, though, he does obviously he got the 10k from the Thor's Horde summon, and he's probably gonna purchase heroes, but he really doesn't have the command points or the production to get high value units basically. I don't think Brand died even once during this game, and he's level 10, which is interesting. No, Isirion is upgrading his fort, but I feel like he can just make a push now and finish the game. Does have access to Western Winds, which means his 16 power points away from the LSR summon. Doesn't really need an LSR to finish. I feel like he can just put down like a forward siege works and take the fort in from a safe distance if he's not very confident in pushing close distance, because Erebor does have access to his Vow of Vengeance effect. So if he puts it down like near fortress and attacks this clump with Arabor heroes, he might actually deal a decent damage. So probably Isirion doesn't want to risk that, but we'll see. So once again, this stack is like really, really powerful, and Arabor doesn't really have much to deal with it. But yeah, Brand once again uses Black Arrow Dale, and yeah, this might be the final push. Although Nosey does have rebuild, and he also has the dwarven fortress heavy armor right now, and these troops are supported. They're supported by a lot of things, in fact, by the battle wagon, by Dain, by King Brand. So let's see. This is probably the final engagement. Once he puts down Vow of Vengeance, and which is kind of like cancelled by the Athelian Wood, and I would assume that Isirion is quite comfortable taking the fight here, even despite the Vow of Vengeance. So yeah, let's see. I feel like he kind of underutilized the charge attack on the Minas Tirith swords, but he didn't really need to use it anyway. He was so much in the lead. But in a more meta, against a more meta Dwarven player, against basic Erebor infantry, the Minas Tirith swords are invaluable, and you need to like carefully micro their charge attack to use it as efficiently as possible, because that's like one of your only options to deal with the Erebor infantry. I would say that I would love to see the guards of the Citadel added to this mix. They would be absolutely unkillable, supported by so many Minas Tirith troops, because obviously for each, I think it's for each battalion or each like 15 units, I can't really remember, they get buffed by 10% armor, and they're heroic units by themselves. So with this many Minas Tirith troops, that front line would be absolutely unpenetrable. So yeah, I feel like we're just looking at the ending of the game and the Erebor hero squad, making its last stand. It's quite fun to do this. In fact, we had a game with Nosey recently when I did this exactly this. It was like a done deal already, but I used Thrower Sword and basically did a last stand. So interestingly, Nosey did not go for Gimli in this game. He only built Gimli in the very end when he had like basically unlimited money after Thrower Sword. Usually he would go for, if you go for Ironfoot, your meta strat is going for Gloin into Gimli. But since this was a specific build into Dalish / mannish units, he just skipped Gimli and went straight for King Dain for that synergy with King Brand as well as the Dalish units. I feel like Nosey's Isirion's kind of like feeding over here. I wouldn't really take this fight. Like they're debuffed, I believe, by something. Not sure exactly what though. Oh yeah, it's the Raven summon. Um, and actually Nosey pushes Isirion back from here. Isirion's command points are low. He's down to like 250. But he's gonna have access to the LSR summon fairly soon, after like 2.5 power points. And Gwen is level 10. Let's see, where's Dain? Hadhod, level 5. Isirion loses a builder here. Brand is level. So the Erebor heroes are actually leveled up. Oh yeah, and he also used Khazad-dûm veteran summon. This would be a comeback. I cannot believe that. Like, I legitimately cannot believe that Nosey can come back from this position. Siren has even put the Stoneworker. I haven't seen this structure in a hot minute. Yeah. I mean, the Arabor player is kind of trying to rebuild its economy. He's got his entire hero squad, I believe, in the field, unless he lost some heroes in that engagement. Gloin, Brand, Hadhod, Dain. I think he doesn't have Gimli only. Maybe. And this Wormslayer Battalion is level 4. Gonna have access to Druin's Day. And still, even despite having so many power points and spending it on so many different things, he hasn't gone for deep delving. And I feel like that's kind of killing him. I mean, that's not the reason he's losing at the moment, but yeah, it's one of the reasons, I would say. That's just such a useful ability for Erebor to kind of, especially in the mid game, to push for the acquisitions that Erebor needs to stay afloat and to continue pushing their opponent. But yeah, here Nosey uses Immolation, which gives them plus 15% movement speed, as well as fire damage, so that's pretty cool. Isirion once again uses the Messengers of Manwë summon, and once again tries to go for the redef. He really does not want to deal with Khazad-dûm. Like, really, and I can understand him. These boys, especially under all those buffs with the Gloin and Dain, are just really powerful. But Nosey has rebuild, and I wonder if he's going to use it, or if he's not looking or paying attention. Yeah, so he does not use the rebuild here, which is a bit of a mistake, I would say. And this deck is not support. Oh, Gandalf is late, so these guys are going to be wrecked until Gandalf arrives. And, you know, puts them out of their misery, stunned misery. A miscontrol by Isirion over here. He really does not want to hit that fortress. He would rather go for this level 3, you know, mineshaft. And Isirion has pulled back his heroes over here. But he does have a Khazad-dûm battalion over here. Gandalf has "You shall not." I cannot believe this. I don't think I've seen this ability in a 1v1 game like ever, maybe. In team games, sure, it's not that hard to get it. Not in 1v1. But yeah, let's see. These Wormslayer is level 5, trying to harass Isirion's economy. I believe he should be at 1,000. 9, 10? And that's because he has leveled up farms, so he hasn't really expanded over the map. His farms are like in the right-hand side of the map in this territory. Let's see what Erebor's eco is looking like. 600, not that good, especially for late game. But that's understandable because he's been losing basically the entire map except the first like maybe 10 minutes or so. And Isirion pushes for the Rohirrim summon. And well, I can understand why he doesn't go for the fortress right now, because Arabor has all its heroes, has rebuild, the fortress has heavy armor. But he might do it now because, you know, the LSR summon gives these guys a bunch of buffs, as well as he has. Well, but LSR got crippled by Gimli, and I can't really see Boromir in this deck, but yeah, there he is. But if Boromir is here, he also needs to use for Gondor, and he also has lots and lots of heroes, so it's probably gonna take down the fort over here unless Nosey comes up with something. But there's not really a whole lot that Nosey can come up with. He does use the Mineshaft summon to debuff these units. LSR goes down over here, and we finally see, you know, you shall not pass. Which, like, there were 0 Dwarven units over here, except this, like, half-dead Khazad Uzbadul battalion. But it kind of knocks back the heroes as well. So that's kind of like another deterrent force. And the fortress is gonna go down in a minute. And finally, seconds before losing his fort, Nosey goes for deep delving. That's not going to help him in this situation anymore. And yeah, I feel like we're seeing the ending of the game. But he does put the heroes as well as this Uzbadul battalion in the mine, and he has built 2 mines over here just to stay alive. He's probably gonna build a production structure somewhere too. He has it here, so yeah, this is just Nosey having fun, not giving up until the very end. We can fast forward this bit. I think Isirion is just gonna discover this production structure, and after killing it, that should be GG. Although Nosey does have a builder, so he can indefinitely prolong this game by building more and more production structures, especially because he has so much money. So he's going to discover this one, and if Nosey does not build a new one over here, he has built it. Oh no. That's funny. Alrighty. But now he's going to lose all of his heroes over here, and probably, I would assume that's when he calls GG. Now this is the actual last stand. All of the Dwarven heroes, the summon, and Gimli as well using his leap. Can use Stubborn Pride now. Brand is going down. Glenn is going to go down fairly soon, but the Uzbadul are still standing. And let's see, does Gandalf has his World of, you shall not pass ability back? Not yet. And I cannot believe like that the Dwarven heroes. Dain isn't even low health. What the hell? I think, like, nominally, I would say, not nominally. I think that I think Erebor won that fight. That is funny. But I would say I understand that Isirion has just basically stopped controlling that much. He knows that he has won already, so he's got 7k in the bank, and kills the last builder. Let's see what Arabor resources are like. What did that money go in? Does he have another builder? I don't believe so. But that money went somewhere. He's building a fort. No way. No way, dude. There is actually no way. Does have 3 heroes, as well as a lone Khazad Uzbadul guarding the fort until Isirion reaches it. And so has this one battalion over here. But yeah, Isirion did notice the fort here. And finally he pushes for Fountain Guards. I feel like if he went for Fountain Guards sooner and had that front line, just really, really tough front line, the game would end a little sooner than it did. But yeah, let's see. Now this is actually the last stand. Let's see. Red Axe is used. Gandalf level 10. I think, yeah, I definitely think that Isirion underuses Flame of Honor ability in this game. He uses Bow of Vengeance and Earthquakes himself out of the game. So yeah, that was something different. Something that we don't see every day. We see quite rarely these days. In fact, the Dalish mannish play. But Isirion was successful in dealing with it. I think if Arabor goes with the basic Arabor infantry play, that is a major headache for Gondor. Gondor really needs to adjust to that, change their playstyle quite a lot, move away from that, move away from what Gondor usually likes to do, the infantry harass supported by cav thing, like think outside of the box, and yeah. But that was fairly interesting, I would say, especially the off-meta Erebor play. Gandalf value, obviously. Also, like, it shows you that you don't really need to do Aethelion every single time. And especially on this patch, I I started to talk about that maybe like 4 times during this cast, but didn't really finish the thought. I'll probably finish it in another cast. But just to recap that point and finish this cast real quick. You don't really need Aethelions in every matchup. In fact, in most of the matchup, I would say that going for Minas Tirith gameplay, supported by Boromir, Denethor, all that stuff, is better on the patch. So, yeah, I'll end the cast there and see you all on the next one.